I actually swatched them on my hand, and this is me after having scrubbed my hand. Scrubbed. Like basically got steel wool and went like this, and it's still on. Girl, talk about long lasting. Hi you guys, welcome back to the Clean Beauty Code. I'm so excited for this. Whoa, I'm too excited. Calm down. I'm so excited for this video because we are doing my September Clean Beauty favorites. And here's the thing, I'm also confused, led astray, befuddled, because how did time go this quickly? It just feels like it sped up like crazy fast. So I'm really excited to get into this and like kind of walk you through everything I did, because I was definitely in a more excited place when it came to doing my own personal, like outside of filming and all of that, my own personal looks, and going a little bit more ham sand around, which is nice. Going a little bit more crazy and more fun with the makeup, because I actually was dying the last 2 months, like August and July. Let me tell you something. I almost died of heat stroke. And so now I'm in a place where I'm like moving into my favorite month, which is October. Does anyone else have a favorite month? What is your favorite month? Let me know down below. But I'm really excited to get into this video. I used some good stuff this month, and I've been grabbing a bunch of new fun stuff. Actually, maybe some of this isn't that new. Oh no, some stuff is new. So I'm really excited to get into this video and like talk you through it. So I just want to kind of get into it. So if you're excited for this video and more videos like this, then please like and subscribe. And without further ado, let's get into my September Clean Beauty favorites. First things first, I've been using a primer a ton, and I feel like in summer, when it's hot, I mean, primers are great and they make it last longer, but I also kind of feel like I got to a point where I was just sweating so much that I was like, there's literally no point. There's no point, like why am I even trying? So I wasn't even using that many because it almost felt pointless. But I've been loving this, the Cover FX gripping primer. This is so freaking good. I love this. This is what, if you need a good, I know everyone loves the Milk Makeup gripping primer. That one's okay. To me, it's a good primer, but I will say there's better ones out there, and I would say that this is a better version of that because it doesn't really ball up. I feel like the Milk Makeup one can ball up. It's still a good primer, but it kind of, you just have to be more careful with that one. But this one's really good. A little bit goes a long way. It has that same tackiness. Makeup lasts so long. This is a really good one if you need an event. Actually, this is actually the one I wore on my wedding day. It's really, really good. And highly, highly, highly recommend checking this out. Okay, so then next, let's move on to complexion. Let's move on to face. So I have two products that I've been loving, and I'm going to be loving going into the colder months because they're really, really hydrating and they just like sink into the skin. So we have the Westman Atelier, what are these called? The complexion drops. I wear the shade X in this, and then also the Summer Fridays, shade 5, and this is their skin tint, and this is a sheer. This is sheer to light. You can get this to be light, but I would say it's more sheer than light, but you can get it to be light coverage. And this is light to medium coverage, the Westman Atelier complexion drops. And I mean, you can even build it up to be a little bit more, no, I say that's right. I would say you can get a little bit more medium plush-ish, but like definitely not too much at all. If you want something a little bit more full coverage, I would definitely go with the Westman Atelier foundation stick. You can get like medium coverage, medium plush. For me at least, I don't. Am I saying plush instead of plus? Can I get it together? I wouldn't say, for me at least, that I have noticed that I can get full coverage out of it without it looking a little bit too makeup-y, but these are great. Okay, so the next concealers. Still loving the concealers I've been loving before, like still in obsession, but this month I was grabbing the Kulfi one a ton. I'm wearing it under my eyes today, not powdered. It's just so freaking good. It's just so good. I'm wearing a new eye cream underneath it, testing something out, and I actually like how it wears with that eye cream too, which is really nice because it's a little bit more hydrating, so I was worried, but it's really, really good. This is just such a good concealer. If you are a big fan of more traditional style concealers that have a little bit more of a sheen, this is really good. I love a sheen in my concealer. I don't like something that's super matte because in general, I like a dewier complexion. So sometimes matte can look out of place under your eyes when the rest of your face is dewy. You know what I mean? This has a little bit of dew. It's not crazy. We're not getting too crazy, but it's, you know, it's got some. But it's really, really good. Really like this. Okay, next we're moving on to bronzers. So I've been using 2 bronzers a ton this month, and I'm kind of moving in, like I'm doing a full like transition of my makeup bag and everything like that. So with that, I'm using different tones. So I don't like to use as warm of tones in my bronzers. So I have one that's a little bit more of a warmer tone and a powder, and one that is neutral. So let's talk about the powder first, which I've talked about a million times. I'm definitely getting another shade of this. This is the Ilia bronzer, and this is in the shade Novelty, and this is a matte bronzer. I love my preference in life is a matte bronzer for like a powder on my face. It just, because listen, if it depends on your complexion and like type, but like I feel like it melts into the skin so it doesn't look like flat. It still has a little zazazoo, a little something, but it isn't like super flat. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It like melts into the skin. It's really good. I like this, and I really want to get the shade above this. So again, this is shade Novelty, and there's one shade above. There's two shades above this, but I really want to get the shade above this one. Really good. And then next, I've been loving all my cream bronzers, but this one specifically, the Rose Ink, for the tone, and also the fact that it isn't too. It's not too creamy, but it also isn't, it has like that perfect creaminess, but it also isn't super shiny, which I'm kind of loving going into the colder months. And this is the Rose Ink Bronzer, and this is the shade Seychelles, and this is just like the most beautiful neutral bronzer of dreams, you guys. Of dreams. Look at that. Oh, it's just so good. And I can apply it with like, just put a brush right in, a sponge even. I prefer a brush with this, even fingers. Again, I prefer a brush with this, but it's really, really good. Okay, so the next we are moving on to blushes, and I've been only grabbing really 3 a ton, but I also have one that I've been grabbing like not as much, but I wanted to mention, an honorable mention, if you will. Oh my gosh, I feel like I have fuzzies all over my face. I feel like there's dog hair everywhere. Anyone ever just feel like there's like just stuff floating around you and it's just landing on you? Anyways, I digress. Let's go into blush. So I've been grabbing this blush a ton, the Victoria Beckham blush in Playground. This is actually what I'm wearing on my cheeks today. It's so good. So good, so blendable, so wearable. I want to grab another shade of these. These are just really, really, really expensive. So, and by really, 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 I mean $42, I believe, like, which is banana sandwiches. I know, it's crazy, but these are really good. The undertones are amazing, and truly want like a brand that is unmatched in the colors that they provide, which is why they can charge so much, because like, it's so hard to find these shades. It really is. They're really, really good, and they're well done, and they're not too pink. They work well for a lot of different complexions. I'm obsessed with them. Okay, so the honorable mention is this one, which is a really similar color to the Victoria Beckham in Playground. This is the Persona Cosmetics blush stick in the shade Teddy. It's gorgeous. It's just so good. Look at that. Let me do a little side-by-side comparison, if you will. So the Victoria Beckham is more on the pink side, but they are pretty similar. I would say that the Persona Cosmetics one has a slight more, like a little bit much like coral to it, but this is a really good one, and I'm going to be grabbing this a ton going into like the colder months. Big fan. Okay, so the next, this one, I'm obsessed with this. This is the Ilia Multi-Stick in the shade, I believe it's Ladybird. It's just so freaking good. I love this. This is like when in doubt blush, I go here. And it's just so good. It melts into the skin. It gives me sheen without being too much. And it's a really good neutral shade. This is really good. And I think most complexions would really enjoy this. And Ilia has a bunch of variety of shades that like are kind of in this vein that also go darker. It's really good. Okay, next, my powder blush that I've been using nonstop this month, and you're all gonna be shocked. Actually, maybe you won't be. It's this one from Cover FX. This is the shade Warm Honey. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. So it has a matte on this side, and then it has like a shimmery on this side, but it's not too shimmery. It gives like a really nice sheen to the cheek. It's just beautiful, and this is like such a good complexion product or blush product going into like colder months, because it isn't super pink, but it's not super red, but it gives something, but it doesn't overdo it. I don't know how to explain it. It's just so good. It's in that same vein of like the Victoria Beckham Beauty Playground and the Persona Cosmetics in Teddy. Really good. Okay, so the next we have highlight, and I've been using this nonstop. The Rose Ink highlighter in Prismatic. I think this would look amazing on like literally everyone. I mean, look at it. I'm wearing it on my cheeks today. It's just so good. It gives like a little something. It blends into the skin really nicely. And it's just, I don't know, it's just so gorgeous. I'm just really, really impressed with this. I mean, I've talked about it a million times. None of you are shocked. Maybe some of you are shocked. I'm not shocked. Okay, next let's move on to eyes. So All right, let's do eyeliners next. So I have been grabbing two specific eyeliners a ton this month, or last month, and that is, so one is the Victoria Beckham eyeliners. I have the shade black and brown. I really want to grab, like, they have one that is like an olive tone. Olive tones going into fall. Don't have to ask me twice. Slap it in my bag. But these are really, really good. They're super creamy and blendable. And for like that, the fact that the smudgy, grungy kind of eye makeup look is coming back, these are really, really good. Really smudgy. And then once you let it kind of set up, they're great. I prefer kind of wearing these with a little bit of primer or a little powder underneath it, or setting them with a powder, just because they definitely can slip around a little bit depending on how oily you get that day. So it's nice to kind of make sure, because they're a little bit more of a satin finish, but they're really good. And then next, no one's shocked by this, Persona Cosmetics eyeliners are just so good. They actually sent me all of theirs because you know I'm obsessed with brown and I never stop talking about it. They actually were really nice and they sent me all of theirs, which is great. So I'm going to do some fun makeup looks. But like, I mean, I love their eyeliners. They're so good. I've been using the black one nonstop since I got it in the mail. I did a really fun look with their like more coppery tone. What's it called? They call it bronze. And I can't wait to use this like plum tone and do like just like the most beautiful plummy eye look of dreams. I'm just so into them. They're really good and they're really creamy. And I've noticed, and I don't know if it's a difference of like the batch when I got this like so long ago. When I got it, I feel like it is creamier now, but it's so long lasting. So it's just as long lasting, but it's easier to blend, I've noticed, which I'm like so happy about, because I feel like, not in a bad way, but they would set up pretty really fast. And now I'm noticing that the formula, and I don't know if it's because I've had mine for so long, and I don't remember, I have this one, but I also had one before this. I don't remember the one I had before this. So I'm wondering if like either this is just old and like it's time for a new one, which like, that's fair. Or I'm just not remembering what the old one was, but they're really creamy and they set up so good. They literally don't move. Like I actually swatched them on my hand, and this is me after having scrubbed my hand. Scrubbed. Like basically got steel wool and went like this, and it's still on. Girl, talk about long lasting. Okay, so then next let's move on to mascara. So I've been grabbing two mascaras nonstop this month, and I don't think any of you will be shocked. These two mascaras. So the Tower 28 mascara, love, so good. Really separated lashes. You can get some volume, but I wouldn't say, oh my gosh, there's hair everywhere. But I wouldn't say the volume is crazy, but you can get some really nice, like, defined lashes, but also get some volume out of it, and crazy curl hold. Like crazy. If you struggle with really like stick straight lashes, okay, try this. It's so good. And if you like use an eyelash curler and then use this, you're going to be in a good spot. I promise you. This lasts all day. It's really, really good. And then my favorite mascara, the one I'm actually wearing today, is the Ilia mascara. It's just so freaking good. I've talked about this a million times, so I'm not going to yammer on, but I love that mascara. And next, let's move on to eyeshadows. So I've been using two eyeshadows a ton. I've been using this. I mentioned this already. This is the Ilia, what is this? A liquid powder matte eye tint. And this is in the shade Tannin. And this is such a good shade. And this is going to be one I use nonstop in fall. Put me in a pumpkin patch with this shade. It's so freaking good. And they do not move. I've used their other liquid eyeshadows. They're good eyeshadows. They aren't my favorite. I didn't grab them all the time. But the matte ones, you need it, trust me. Get it. It's so good. Okay, so the next eyeshadow palette. No one talked about this. The Identity palette from Persona has been so good. I actually used some of this for my eye look today. Look at that. Look at it. They're so good. They're so good. I love these eyeshadow palettes. Like these, honestly, like they are like by far like my favorite. Like they're just so freaking good. And I can't wait. I cannot wait for them to come out with a new eyeshadow palette, and I hope they do it soon because I'm obsessed with their eyeshadows. Their mattes are super creamy, long wearing. Their shimmers, they're just so good. They're like, oh, you can apply it with your fingers, you can apply it with a brush. They are really, really good. quality, and although they're not like the cheapest palette, right, like they're not like $20 or anything like that, I believe they're $42. They're really good and worth the money, and I highly recommend. And this one, especially for someone who's a beginner but also like is curious about different shades, this is really good because you have kind of like, you have this audacious color here, you have the chic color here, and they're beautiful and swatch so well. Okay, anyways, stop yapping on, Manon. Okay, so lips. Let's talk lip liner. So I've been using 4 lip liners kind of a lot. So I've been using the Victoria Beckham lip liners a ton. I've been using the shade. I've been kind of moving into like my darker tones, 04 and 05 a ton. I'm obsessed. 05 is a brown tone. They also have a darker brown, which I need to get my hands on, which at that point I'm going to own basically every single color in the collection because I cannot stop with my obsession. They're so, so good. I really, really like these. And next, the Kosas lip liner in the shade Peak is just such a good in-between a really light nude and a dark nude for me. It's kind of just like the perfect shade, and it works really well with different like lip glosses on top, like more light tone, more dark tone, pinks. Like it's very versatile, even reds. This is a great one. And because it's not super warm or super neutral, it kind of just lies like right in the middle. It gives your lips life, but it's not, I don't know, it doesn't, my lips don't lay flat even if I'm just wearing it on its own, if that makes sense. Really good. Okay, so the next, I've been loving this, you guys. So this is from Tower 28, and this is their multi-liner, and this is in the shade Draw Me, and let me just swatch this for you on the back of my hand. Yeah, I know. Yep. I know, it's so good. It's so good. I mean, you know how I feel about a brown lip liner. Everyone needs them. They're so good. And we're moving into a time where more browns on your lips and stuff like that, or even browns on your eyes, like going a little bit darker in color instead of going with the lighter nudes or the pinks is like coming up. So I'm jazzed. Okay, anyways, I digress. Let's go on to the lip oils and all of that stuff. So you guys, I just can't stop with these. So these are the liquid lip balms from Rowan, and I'm freaking obsessed, specifically with 2 shades. Look how I'm already like, look, like I'm that upset. They're so good. They're so good. I'm obsessed. And these 2 going into the colder months, I can't even talk about it. They're so freaking good. So these are the liquid lip balms from Rowan, if I didn't say, and this is the shade Lola, which is like a beigey nude, the shade Jude, which is a warm tone kind of brown-ish, a warm tone brown, and then the shade Charlie, which is kind of just like a more neutrally pink tone. And obviously I've been like living inside Charlie. I mean, this is the one I've been grabbing. I was grabbing in like the warmer months more. It's just so good, so hydrating, gives you nice gloss, not too glossy. I don't know, I'm obsessed with them. And then the Micole lip oil has been so good. I mean, I've talked about it a million times. Like, you cannot go wrong with it. I've also been using 2 specific, like, more lip sticky products. I've been using this from Merit Beauty a ton. This is the shade Slip from their lipsticks, and this is just like the most beautiful, lighter brown, like nude color. It's just so, so good. And it's more neutral. It's not super warm, which I like. And it just layers beautifully on top of brown lip liners, but it also wears beautifully alone. I prefer wearing it with a brown lip liner because it's a little light for me at times, but so good. And then this, I'm back on this bandwagon, you guys. The Persona Cosmetics E-Balm in the shade, what is it, Gratitude? Yeah, it's just so good. Wait, it's just so good. Oh my God. Like, hello, fall. It's just so pretty, so hydrating, so good. I've talked about this a ton on this channel, and they have like a more red tone and then more of a lighter nude tone, but this is just gorgeous. It's so good. And it's more warm, which I do really like because I think layering it with more neutrals or when you're going with like a warmer eye look, sometimes it's really fun to go with something that is more warm on the lips, but isn't like crazy. Like, we're not looking like we just ate a bucket of Cheetos, but like it's nice. I don't know how to explain it. It's like a rich warmth. Love. Okay, so then next let's move on to like skincare and all of that. So this face cream, every time I get this face cream, like the entire like the label completely like disintegrates basically. But this is from First Aid Beauty, and this is their, what is this? Their firming collagen something. something. I don't know the name. I don't know the end of the name, but I think it's their firming collagen cream. This is really good. It's lightweight, but it's super hydrating. I love to wear it during the day. I also like to wear it at night, depending on kind of how I'm prepping my face and what else I'm putting on. This is really, really good. I'm obsessed with it. This is my second one of these, and I'm gonna get a third because I can't live without it. It's just so, so good. Okay, next. This face oil, this is a Sea Buckthorn Best Skin Ever. And what is the name of the brand? I'm going to put it down below. I think it's Living Libations, I think is the name, but it's not on the packaging, which I don't really understand why. Oh yeah, it is on the packaging. Duh. And this is so, so good. So this is the 30 milliliter. I'm obsessed with this. This is so nice to just put on your face alone. You can also wash your face with it, which I know sounds crazy, but this is like really nice for like cleaning off your face, using it in the morning or at night, depending on your skincare routine. I like to wear it on top of stuff too, to kind of make sure like it locks in the hydration. It's so good. It has a really nice scent. But if you don't like earthy tones or smells, you are not going to like this because this is very earthy, but I love that smell. It's just so good. Okay, so the next, I have a body oil. I love body oil. So this is from the brand OC, and this is their algae body oil, Undaria body oil. This is so good. They actually gifted me this. This is such a good product, you guys. Like this is so good. Like if you ever like struggle after you shave and you feel like your skin almost burns, I get that a lot when it's colder out. This is like amazing. I actually can't believe that I've tried a bunch of products from OC before, but I've never used their body oil, and I'm not going back. Like this is so good. I actually mentioned this to my friend, and she was telling me that she's obsessed with this as well. And she's like, "You've never used it?" I'm like, "No, shockingly enough, I like didn't even think to use it because I had a bunch of other body oils." She's told me how obsessed she was with it, and I have to agree with her. It's really good. I'm a really big fan of this. Okay, next. Deodorant. Kosas Sport deodorant. I'm actually almost out. I think I actually just got another order in from Sephora, thank God, because I am running low and I can't because I'm starting to wear sweaters more and sweaty pits are not happening. Okay, next. This, I've been using this a ton. I love this stuff. It's just so good. So this is the Ren Ready Set Glow AHA Tonic. Really, really good. It like gives a little bit of tack to the face, but it's not super, super sticky. It just it helps so much with clogged pores, but it also helps with my hyperpigmentation, getting it to look less crazy. Really, really good. I love Ren as a brand. They're just overall like the best. And then lastly, my sunscreen. This is from the brand K-Skin. I've mentioned this a ton on this channel. This is my second or third bottle, and it's just so good. It gives your skin like a beautiful sheen. It is SPF 45, which anything below 40 I'm not really into. I prefer something higher. This is really, really good. I'm obsessed with it. I've talked about it in like every favorites video. And yeah, that is it for this video. That is it for my September Clean Beauty favorites. I would love to know what you've been loving in the month of September. Let me know down below. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.